Hey, what's going on everyone? Dennis here, EDC for Fun. Thanks for checking out the video. Today we're going to be looking at my top 5 knife steels. All right, coming in at number 5 is going to be 154 cm, as you can see on this O knife we're about to. And basically what you have with 154 cm is a 440 steel that has more molybdenum. 440 is a well-balanced steel, and so what happens when you add that molybdenum, you get higher hardness, which is going to give you better edge retention as well as better corrosion resistance. And 154 cm I found is just an excellent all-around steel. It's easy to sharpen. It holds an edge fairly well. It also takes a very nice edge, gets very sharp, and you don't really have to worry about it rusting, assuming you're not neglecting your knives. But I've had very, very good experience with 154 cm. I would also add that if you want to get into sharpening, 154 cm, like you can see this Devo growler here, 154 cm is a steel that you should not be afraid of. You can definitely learn on this steel, or 440 or something like that, without having the most high-tech or advanced sharpening systems out there. You can definitely learn a lot by trying your hand at sharpening 154 cm. Highly recommend it. Next up is going to be 20 CV, as you can see on this Benchmade Griptilian. And I do have a caveat about 20 CV. Specifically, I like American 20 CV. So like this one from Benchmade as well as this one from Spyderco. Their heat treat just really makes a big difference in how I've seen 20 CV perform. Basically, you have a hard steel that has excellent edge retention, very good corrosion resistance, but the steel I've seen from some knives that I've gotten from China that had 20 CV on them can be a little bit chippy. So especially if you start laying back angles. Now, obviously, edge geometry has a little bit to do with that, but I've done that with both of these and had no issues with chipping, and I definitely thump on these knives pretty good. And I've just seen the American heat treated 20 CV just rise above and just perform absolutely excellent. Like I said, it's got amazing edge retention, very high corrosion resistance. It is very difficult to sharpen if you've not sharpened it before. It does take time to get it to remove the metal, because it is a harder steel. But once you get it profiled, it's pretty much downhill from there, and it takes a nasty edge. All right, so that was my number 4. Number 3, I'm actually going to group a few things together. This is S45VN, as you can see from Spyderco, and this one here is S30V from Spyderco. I'm going to also group, I don't have one nearby, but an S35VN. So basically S30, S35, S45VN are all excellent steels that are relatively easy to sharpen, but still give you very good edge retention as well as corrosion resistance. They're very well balanced, and they used to be considered, high-end premium super steels, or whatever you want to call them. And in the last 5 or so years, with other steels coming out, they've kind of been bumped down, but it doesn't take away from how good these steels are, especially from companies like Spyderco. They just nail the heat treats. They've got excellent edge geometry, very well suited for steels like these. They just get wicked sharp, and they perform really well overall. So that's my number 3. Next up, number 2 is going to be LC200N. As you can see on this Quiet Carry Drift, this is the Drift LC. I've got a review coming out hopefully soon of this guy here, but we're not talking about the knife, we're talking about the steel. And LC200N is phenomenal. It is a nitrogen-based steel. It is corrosion resistant to the max. Years ago, I saw Ben Peterson, bury an LC200N. I think it was a Dragonfly, one of Spyderco's knives that was in LC200N. Buried it in the Great Salt Lake. I forget how long he left it under the water there, but he went back and it was, it didn't rust. It's just so impressive to see that. And with not only its corrosion resistance, but its ability to take a really sharp edge without being crazy hard to sharpen, and having excellent edge retention as well. This steel is phenomenal. I would like to see more of this out on the market, because it is really, really good. As you can see on this Spidey Chef here, you see that big shiny bevel there. I've laid back the angle a little bit, and this thing is just sticky sharp, and strops up really, really well. It's just an excellent steel, especially with that corrosion resistance on there. You don't have to worry about, this guy rusting on you, especially when the manufacturers take advantage of that and they give you, titanium components. Like even on this drift here, the liners are made of LC200N. It's got a G10 show scale titanium lock scale, and then inside of the G10 there, you can see that steel liner is also made of the same LC200N. Even the lock bar, sorry, it's not focusing there. The lock bar insert there is also made of LC200N, and it's just an awesome steel. Whenever I go to the beach, this guy is always with me. Absolutely love LC200N. And last but not least is going to be, actually, of course not least, it's my number one. What am I talking about? So number one is going to be CPM Crewwear. And although it's not, corrosion resistant like LC200N, it actually is it holds up better than I thought it would in terms of moisture, corrosion resistance, that kind of stuff. But beyond that, that's not what makes this steel stand out. What makes it stand out is its incredible toughness, edge retention, and ease of sharpening all in one. Like that, just, I have not seen any other steel that you can put such a keen edge and it hold that edge, but you not have to work as hard as, say, with like 20CV, M390, etc. Getting Crewwear, and I'm lumping in Z-Wear because it's very similar, basically the same thing. But with these steels, getting them incredibly sharp, and having them hold that sharpness, and being able to thump on these is just mind-blowing how excellent they are. And if you can get some Crewwear, particularly from Spyderco, I can't speak to everything else that's out there. Obviously nobody's going to have access to everything. Very few people have the luxury to have so many different examples of everything. But if you can get your hands on some of this stuff, you will not be disappointed. It is an excellent steel, and it is my number one overall. Now, over time, these orders might change. There might be other steels that I might experience, and they bump one of these guys off. But for right now, 2023, these are my jam: 154 cm, 20 CV, the S30s, LC200N, and Crewwear. So guys, I really appreciate you checking out the video. If you want to learn more about steels, two resources that I've really enjoyed are Knife Steel Nerds, as well as Everyday Commentary. You can find their blogs, their website online. Just Google them, and enjoy the stuff that they've put out there. They've put so much work and thought and time, into reviewing and talking about not only the performance of the steels, but the history of the steels, how they came to be, how they've been used, how they are used in the knife world, etc. So definitely check out those resources. But like I said, these are my top 5 for now. I want to thank you again for checking out the video. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. God bless you guys. See ya.